netPrefect. Manage it, report it, predict it. Welcome to the conceptual overview of netPrefect. Here we will explain the architecture of netPrefect version 2.7. netPrefect has a main engine component, which will typically be situated on either a physical server, an appliance, or a virtual server in the MSP's data center. The engine is responsible for processing data captured from all remote managed devices and generating events and alerts as necessary. The engine requires a database in which to store both the device configuration data and all requested data captured from managed devices. In addition, any generated events and alerts are also stored in the database. netPrefect currently supports 4 database types: Postgres, which is also the database used on the appliance sold by Cyclone, MySQL, Microsoft SQL Server, and Oracle. Housekeeping policies allow the customer to specify when data is removed from the database, dependent on its age or number of records, or both. Captured log data is not simply deleted, although it can be if required. It's archived to flat text files so that the customer can back them up for historical audit purposes. Statistical data can be stored in a summarized format rather than raw records to reduce the amount of stored or archived data. The engine provides access to its information in the form of reports via the built-in web portal. The portal is also the place from where the other netPrefect components, such as the GUI and the Server Manager, can be downloaded and installed. The engine also communicates with Cyclone for device licensing information, such as the number of licenses, expiry and validity. The engine handles storing of audited activity for compliance purposes. A mid-range server with a 1 TB RAID, similar to the appliances sold by Cyclone, should easily support 1500 plus monitored devices, depending on the monitoring rules applied. The netPrefect GUI is typically installed on any PCs or notebooks in the MSP's Network Operations Center. The GUI interacts with the engine via web services provided by the engine's web portal. This communication is encrypted and passes over the standard HTTPS channel, port 443. The GUI is installed as a core module and then added to with features, which are split into 2 categories. Management features for general day-to-day tasks for users who need to interact with the managed devices, either directly via remote desktop or via one of the transport protocols, also for viewing or displaying events and alerts or displaying summary reports. And admin features for netPrefect administrators, which allow the manipulation of the netPrefect configuration data. The management features that the administrator installs will be dependent on the activities they want to perform with the GUI, and range from viewing events and alerts to displaying reports or opening remote desktop sessions to the managed devices where the managed device supports it. The GUI requires a username and password logon to each engine it communicates with, ensuring that the user only sees the information that they've been granted access to. For read-only access to reporting information, the portal allows normal web browser access to netPrefect, and this access is over an encrypted secure channel using the HTTPS protocol, along with username and password logon for predefined access rights. So how does netPrefect gather its management information from each device it's monitoring? Well, this is achieved through the installation of a Server Manager, which is typically installed on a PC or small appliance on the site or on the network where the devices being managed are also installed. Alternatively, through the use of NAT or VPN, the Server Manager can be situated in the data center, although this can prove to be technically challenging and will require firewall changes at the customer site to allow either direct access or access through a VPN to the managed devices. The Server Manager is a very light application and takes sufficiently little resource on the device it's running on to be a background task for a light usage machine. It doesn't require any agent software to be installed on the managed devices. The Server Manager communicates with the engine over a secure channel using port 443. It's also responsible for initiating communication with the engine, and can also be configured to communicate through an HTTP proxy server. This means that in general, firewall modifications are not required on the monitored remote site for the Server Manager to make a connection out to the engine in the data center or NOC. The Server Manager is responsible for accepting unsolicited data from the managed devices, as well as periodically querying the devices for information. It routes interactive administrator commands to the device via the GUI connected to the engine. The Server Manager communicates with the managed devices through a variety of mechanisms, or transports as we refer to them, as shown here. There's a wide range of transports available, allowing each managed device to be monitored and controlled using the most appropriate. The use of these transports without an installed agent enables netPrefect to monitor and manage a wide range of IP devices, including switches, routers, IP cameras, printers, photocopiers, and so on. If there's a transport protocol that's not currently supported, this can be implemented quickly on a customer-specific request. The Server Manager also provides a TFTP server so that the managed devices that have the ability can back up their configuration data to netPrefect on a schedule, if required. For those devices that roam, such as laptops, or for those sites that only have a single device to be monitored, such as Microsoft Small Business Server, then netPrefect also has a slimline Server Manager, an agent, that can be installed on the managed device. Firstly, the agent automatically looks to find a local Server Manager if there's one installed on the LAN that it's connected to. If a Server Manager is found, it then routes its captured data via the local Server Manager. If the agent can't find a local Server Manager, it'll attempt to communicate directly with the engine. This allows the agent, if installed on a laptop, to contact the engine even if the user has dropped into an internet cafe to simply check their email. The agent can be installed on configured servers before shipping to the end user. In this case, the agent will contact the engine at the predefined service provider when remotely activated to provide the monitoring service. This server can also be hosted in the cloud. The agent can be upgraded to a full Server Manager, giving the ability to manage the rest of the devices on the network. The Server Manager also presents a proxy for the web portal provided by the engine. This allows staff and customers local to the Server Manager on the customer site to securely log in and review customer-focused reports relating to their login credentials. Disaster tolerance, audit trails, and compliance are paramount when managing multiple customer systems with tight SLAs in place. So, what happens if there's a problem in the data center and the engine is unreachable? Well, netPrefect allows engine installations to be clustered, which essentially provides three things. Firstly, there's fault tolerance. If one engine fails, the rest keep running, providing service seamlessly. Secondly, there's load balancing. All communication to and from the cluster is performed to cluster members in a round-robin fashion, so load is evenly distributed around the cluster. And thirdly, the scalability. If more devices need to be managed and the existing cluster is reaching capacity, simply add another engine as a cluster member. Obviously, the database becomes the weak link. However, all the databases we support also provide clustering techniques to improve availability. If clustering engines, then we would strongly recommend that you investigate what's required to cluster your database too. Disaster tolerance also applies to the server manager on a monitored site, but due to the way some transports operate, netPrefect implements a grouping of server managers. This is essentially one server manager that has one or more hot standby server managers, which will take over monitoring the instant that they detect the primary server manager has failed. So, that concludes the overview of the architecture of netPrefect version 2.7. Thank you for watching our video. For more information about netPrefect, go to our website at www.netprefect.com.